What's going on, everybody? You are listening to the S3 podcast on Sports Media X, CoachChefDeMers.com. Got a really good show for you today. As always, I'm JD. She is the lovely Ms. Lady M. Lady M, how are you today?
I'm good. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. What do we got on tap today? We got some NASCAR and Indy to talk about. We got NASCAR News and Notes. The Sox and the Diamondbacks continue their push to the postseason this weekend. And we unveil our best and worst NFL quarterbacks heading into training camp during a segment that we're going to be calling new segment called Top to Bottom. So we're going to be breaking down our top 5 quarterbacks heading into NFL training camp and our bottom 5. And then we will release our entire list of basically quarterback power rankings on Tuesday on CoachChefDeMers.com. So with that being said, let's check this out, sports fans. Are you passionate about sports and dreaming of a career in sports media? It's time to turn that dream into reality with our Sports Media X program, created by yours truly. Sports Media X offers you everything you need to build your own sports media brand, from creating engaging content to getting exclusive media access. Give us a break. We just came back. We've got you covered. Visit CoachChefDeMers.com today and start your journey towards a thrilling career in sports media. Don't wait. Build your sports media brand today with Sports Media X. Again, go to CoachChefDeMers.com. Click on the button in the section on the homepage for Sports Media X to learn more about the program and pick up exciting free bonuses along with a 30-day free trial to help kickstart your sports media brand. What's first?
Headlines and horrible dad jokes.
The headlines may or may not be horrible. The dad jokes definitely are. Headline number 1, Bill Belichick has signed on with NFL Films for the entire 2024-2025 season to be part of the cast for Inside the NFL. He'll work with Ryan Clark, Chris Long, and Chad Ocho Cinco Johnson. You can watch the entire season on the CW starting on August 30th. The shows will be every Tuesday starting August 30th all the way through to the big game. That's pretty exciting, right? Bill's got a job.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to it. Actually, I really enjoyed him during the draft.
Yeah.
So
he's kind of smart.
Yeah. He's got a good sense of humor too. He's always come off as such a strict, like by the law kind of coach. The sense of humor is a fun twist.
That came out during the Brady roast too. So like, I like it. He'll also be part of the Monday Night Football Manning cast. So he'll be paired with the Mannings.
Yeah, we're gonna have to watch some of that this season.
Oh, definitely.
It does.
Absolutely. All right. Lady M, what did the horse say after it tripped?
No idea.
I've fallen and I can't giddy up. Fallen and I can't giddy up. All right, headline number 2.
During that answer, did I have any idea where it was gonna go? That one got me.
Headline number 2. We are 1 week away from the start of the Summer Olympics. Are you or are you not interested?
I'm always a little bit interested in the Olympics. The problem is I'm not good at following the athletes, right? So unless there's somebody like Michael Phelps, who you have to know about. I mean, where have you been if you've not heard that name?
Arizona State's own Michael Phelps. Absolutely. Just the winningest swimmer ever.
Yeah, so. I always like seeing all the different country representatives and techniques, and there's a lot of athleticism involved in every single event that they have. And swimming and ice skating are probably my top 2, but there are plenty of others that I've paid attention to over the years. So went to high school with a medalist.
I think it'll be pretty good. I mean, it is being held in France. I heard the river is just chock full of garbage and pollution.
Probably.
I'll watch. I mean, there's certain things that I'll watch. Like I watch like track and field and probably swimming. I know Simone Biles, so gymnastics a little bit.
I like gymnastics a lot too.
I'll keep an eye on that. Definitely want to see how Team USA does. I'm done using I do not want to see anybody call this Dream Team 7 or Dream Team 8. There will never be another team that competes or compares to the original Dream Team.
The actual Dream Team.
Yeah.
Right.
So
right.
All right. Next joke. What do you call an angry carrot?
I have no idea.
A steamed veggie.
A
steamed veggie. All right. Headline number 3. My new favorite player, Ronnie James, becomes a popular betting pick for Rookie of the Year on DraftKings. Popular. Grizzlies' Zach Edey now is the consensus betting favorite. I am drinking the haterade big time when it comes to Bronny James. I am. It's like I'm the only person in America with common freaking sense. You gotta be kidding me. Is this really a topic? Is this really a topic? Okay, so
sort of accepts nepotism as a
yes, can we give the definition of nepotism?
Sure.
Real quick. Go ahead.
The practice among those with power or influence of favoring relatives, friends, or associates, especially by giving them jobs.
That did not happen here at all. At all. Go ahead.
The parent maybe, or I'm an aunt, so as an aunt wanting to pass on something that I've built directly to a little person that means something to me, meaning one of my nephews or my niece or something along those lines. But at some point, talent and work and all that have to come into play too. And if the kid doesn't have the talent, he just doesn't. And stringing him, I'm like, you're almost crushing him and stringing him along by trying to make him feel like he should fill his dad's shoes when he's clearly not going to be able to.
So let's dig into this a little bit, because people hate when I use stats, facts, logic for my arguments. All right. Everybody's like, he deserves to be in the league. No, he doesn't. Yeah. Let's figure out what school he went to as a bench player. He played at USC. USC last season finished at 15-18. They were 9th in the former Pac-12.
Right.
9th in a terrible, terrible college conference. 9th. He was not a starter.
Right.
At all.
Right.
Out of the top probably 15 players or 10, let's just say 10 players, he played the least amount of games because he was injured. I'll give him that. But he averaged 20 minutes a game.
Yeah.
He averaged 4.8 points per game, which was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th best on a terrible team. 8th best on a terrible USC team.
Yeah.
He averaged 2.8 rebounds. He's a point guard. I don't expect him to get rebounds. That's fine. He averaged 2.1 assists as a guard, which was good for 4th on USC.
Right.
He averaged 0.8 steals. Why would you want a point guard to be able to defend other point guards? 0 point. Look, that's 6th best on his team.
On a terrible team.
I don't count blocks. He's a point guard. I don't really care about turnovers that much, but he was basically 5th worst on USC.
Yeah.
His field goal percentage was 36.6%, which was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th best on USC. He was the 10th best shooter. He deserves to be in the league. No, he doesn't. His free throw percentage was at 67. It's worse. 67.6%, which was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th, 8th, 9th best on USC. He deserves to be in the NBA. I'll keep going. One more try. He shot 26.7% from 3-point percent from the three. 26.7, which was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th, 7th, 8th worst on USC.
Yeah.
To give you an idea, only one other player from USC was drafted in the entire NBA draft. And that was Isaiah Collier, who averaged 16 points. He was drafted at the end of the first round. Bronny James does not deserve to be in the NBA. I don't
take
care.
A spot from someone who does.
He doesn't have any numbers. He was at best the 8th or 9th best player on USC, who again finished 15-18 last season in the Pac-12, which means if he's 9th best on, let's say, 100 teams that where you actually know their names, that means he definitely wasn't the 55th best player in college last year.
Right.
I'm done with it already. Ship him overseas. They're talking about he's one of the top bets right now for Rookie of the Year.
He is going to take that spot from someone that deserves to be there. That's another
way that
you can look at it. There's a player that should be in the NBA that's not going to get to now.
Dalton Knecht, who they drafted at 17, who deserved to be drafted because he was a top 5 offensive player in all of college basketball last year.
Right.
They introduced them both at the same press conference. Dalton Knecht got one question about his jersey number, and the rest of it was all Bronny James.
Yeah.
This is the pure definition of nepotism.
Yeah.
He does not deserve to be in the league. I will be hater number 1. Forget the fact that I'm from Boston, huge Celtics fan, grew up hating the Lakers.
Right.
Forget about that. This, daddy just got a terrible employee $2 million a year.
Yeah.
You're paying a terrible employee $2 million a year, and he is going to get locked down. Can you imagine our former, one of our former, best defensive players in Marcus Smart going up against Bronny freaking James? He'll be lucky if he gets past half court with the ball. Are you kidding me?
I mean, if you look at it from that standpoint, it's not fair to him. It's not fair to Bronny James. It's not. He's going to struggle so hard. He's going to do terrible. He's going to feel miserable. And then he's going to have the whole, everybody's expecting him to live up to his dad's shoes. And that's a unfair thing to do to a kid that idolizes his dad. Just going to throw that out there.
You know what? I would be completely okay with this if the Lakers just came out and said, we wanted the opportunity to say that he had a chance to play with his dad. That's the only reason he's in. But they came out at the press conference and said he 100% deserves to be drafted. No, he doesn't. Yeah. The number 9 player on a 15-18 college team should not be in the NBA.
Yeah, part of that, I'm going to blame a little tiny part of that on the fans, though, because the fans wouldn't be willing to accept we wanted to let him play with his dad.
They didn't pull me.
But that is a legitimate, that is more legitimate than trying to pretend like he's somehow going to be an excellent ball player.
That was terrible. Are you serious right now?
He wasn't even mediocre as a college player. He was awful.
Let's just look at
it's not going to get better, you guys. Throwing him into
you gotta go. NBA, you got to go against you got to go against the Thunder. You go against he won't even be able to lock down Steph Curry. Steph Curry's twice his age.
Right.
He's going to get embarrassed.
Yeah, no.
He won't be able to play defense against them, and he sure as hell won't be able to be on score on offense or keep up, with his spot on offense. Right? You get a point guard in there, you expect them to give you 10 points a game. Come on. Dalton Knecht, their number 17 pick, he should get you 10 points a game.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Even as a rookie.
Yeah. Yeah.
One of the best shooters coming out of college. So disrespectful to him that all the news is on Bronny. So disrespectful. It's crazy. I'm done with it. I'm done with it. Absolutely done with it. It's jeez. Anyway, moving on. Shout out to Karen out there. That's out there. All right. That was just a headline. That wasn't even a segment.
No, that was a headline. I was both fired up.
All right. Next joke in headlines and horrible dad jokes. What did the triangle say to the circle?
No idea.
You are pointless.
Ha!
That was pretty good. That was pretty good. All right. Headline number 4, the Boston Red Sox All-Star center fielder Jarren Duran wins the American League, the All-Star MVP. He did that earlier this week. Duran hit a go-ahead 2-run home run to put the American League up for the final score of 5-3. American League has won 10 of the last 11 All-Star games. So kudos to Jarren. All right. Sox first All-Star since I think Adrian Beltre or something like that. So it's yeah. All right. Final joke. What do cows read the most?
The moose? I don't know.
Cattle logs. Cattle logs. And that was headlines with horrible dad jokes. It's good to be back. All right. What's next?
NASCAR weekend at Indianapolis.
All right. So NASCAR is back. We're back this weekend in Indianapolis. So let's do the breakdown, starting with tonight's Craftsman Truck Series race, which kicks off in about 15 minutes. It is called the T-Sport 200. The place, again, Lucas Oil, Indianapolis Raceway Park, a 0.686 mile asphalt oval. That is for the purse of $672,492. You can listen on MRN Radio and Sirius XM NASCAR Radio. Distance 137.2 miles. That is 200 laps. Stage 1 ends on lap 60. Stage 2 ends on lap 120. The final stage ends on lap 200. The Xfinity Series race is tomorrow. That is the Pennzoil 250 presented by Advanced Auto Parts. Again, Indianapolis Motor Speedway has this one, the 2.5 mile asphalt oval. That is tomorrow at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for a purse of $1.873 million. You can listen on IMS Radio. Indianapolis Motorsports, I guess, has their own radio. And nice. Sirius XM NASCAR Radio. The distance, again, 250 miles for 100 laps. Stage 1 ends on lap 30. Stage 2 ends on lap 60. And the final stage ends on lap 100. To Sunday's race, we're going to go over the news and notes on this in just a second. It is the famous Brickyard 400 presented by PPG. The place, again, Indianapolis Motor Speedway, 2.5 mile asphalt oval. I like saying asphalt. The date, Sunday, July 21st. That kicks off at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with a purse, a whopping $9.596 million. Nice. You can listen on IMS Radio and Sirius XM NASCAR Radio. The distance, again, 400 miles. 160 laps. Stage 1 ends on lap 50. Stage 2 ends on lap 100. And the final stage ends on lap 160. Let's go over news and notes. It is called The Jewel. Has returned to the Crown, long considered one of the crown jewel events of the NASCAR Cup Series schedule. And after a 3-year hiatus on the road course, NASCAR Cup Series returns to Indianapolis Motor Speedway, rectangular-shaped oval for the famed Brickyard 400 presented by PPG on Sunday, July 21st at 2:30. Indianapolis Motor Speedway, also known as IMS, has existed since 1909. It's considered the original speedway, the first racing facility to incorporate the word into its name. Located just west of downtown Indianapolis, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway is the third oldest permanent automobile racetrack in the world, behind Brooklands and the Milwaukee Mile. with a permanent seating capacity for more than 250,000 plus people and infield seating that raises capacity to an approximate 400,000. It is considered the largest and highest capacity sporting facility in history. That's cool. The first NASCAR Cup Series race at Indianapolis Motor Speedway was on August 6, 1994. The inaugural race was won by Hendrick Motorsports driver and NASCAR Hall of Famer Jeff Gordon in the number 24 Chevrolet. You may have heard of him. Gordon led 93 laps in the 160-lap event and beat Brett Bodine, who I've actually personally met, to the finish line by 0.530 seconds for the win. Average speed of the race was 131.977 miles per hour, and it took 3 hours, 1 minute, and 51 seconds to complete. In total, there have been 27 NASCAR Cup Series races at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway Oval, producing 19 different pole winners and 15 different race winners. This weekend, the on-track activity for the NASCAR Cup Series will begin with 50-minute practice on Friday, which happened earlier on, and was streamed on NBA Sports app. Hamlin can join elite status of winning all 4 Crown Jewel NASCAR Cup events. So Indianapolis Motor Speedway's Brickyard 400, presented by PBG, is considered one of the NASCAR Cup Series Crown Jewel events again, along with Daytona 500, the Coca-Cola 600, and the Southern 500. But what makes it most intriguing is only 4 elite drivers in NASCAR Cup Series history have won all 4 events in their careers. Jeff Gordon, Jimmy Johnson, Kevin Harvick, and Dale Earnhardt. So Hamlin could pull that off. NASCAR Hall of Famer Jeff Gordon leads the NASCAR Cup Series and Crown Jewel events with wins, 17 total wins. Wow, that's a lot. This weekend, there are 15 drivers entered into the Brickyard 400 that have won at least one of the Crown Jewel events in their careers, and one driver has the opportunity again to add the final jewel to his crown on Sunday. Joe Gibbs Racing's Denny Hamlin. If Hamlin can win this weekend at Indy, he will become the 5th driver to win all 4 Crown Jewel events in his career. 2 other active drivers that are looking for their final jewel to their crowns are RFK's Racing Brad Keselowski and Richard Childress Racing Kyle Busch. But both still need a Daytona 500 victory as well. Okay. NASCAR Crown Jewel events and winners. You got Jeff Gordon leads the Brickyard 400 with 5 wins. You've got let's see here, Daytona 500. He's got 3. He's got 3 Coke 600. Holy crap! He's got 6 Southern 500 for a total of 17 wins. That's
very dominant throughout his career, so I'm not that surprised. That's impressive.
2024 playoff outlook following race number 21. So Kyle Larson currently leads the standings. He's got 3 wins, 8 stage wins, and 23 playoff points. Getting in on wins is Kyle Larson, Denny Hamlin, William Byron, Christopher Bell, Ryan Blaney, Chase Elliott, Tyler Reddick, Brad Keselowski, Alex Bowman, your guy, Joey Logano, Daniel Suarez, and Austin Cindric. Currently in the playoffs on points, Martin Truex Jr., Ty Gibbs, Chris Buescher, and Ross Chastain. Bubba Wallace, who's just been a mess lately and getting in a bunch of trouble, is currently on the outside looking in. He's only 27 points back, followed by Chase Briscoe, 75 points back, and Kyle Busch is a whopping 102 points back. Busch is going to make the playoffs.
The roughest season this season. It's been raining on
There's
him.
rumors that that he's trying to go back to Joe Gibbs Racing next year. He's already done with RCR. But I mean, active.
You couldn't blame him if they're you couldn't blame him after the season he's had this season. It's a lot of it's been preventable car issues.
Season. Oh my God, terrible season. As far as active Indianapolis pole winners, Kyle Busch leads everybody with 2. Denny Hamlin has 1, and Jimmy Johnson, who will be racing this weekend, has 1.
Yeah.
Jimmy Johnson can actually tie Jeff Gordon for the most Indianapolis wins all time if he should win this week. But Legacy Motorsports has not had any speed at all at any track. So I seriously doubt Johnson will get the win this week.
Yeah.
As we've already mentioned, Kyle Busch needs to rebound. Indianapolis could be the place. RCR's Kyle Busch has hit a midsummer slump. That's putting it lightly. Finishing 24th or worse in 4 of his last 6 races, dropping him to 19th in the playoff outlook standings, 102 points back from the postseason cutoff. But could all change this weekend with the return of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway Oval. Only 3 former NASCAR Cup Series Indianapolis Motor Speedway race winners are entered this weekend. That's Jimmy Johnson, who has 4 wins, Kyle Busch with 2 victories, and Brad Keselowski has 1. All right. Oh, it's gonna be tough this weekend. Give me a driver that you're picking to win. You're good at this. Who's gonna win Indy this week?
Well, I would actually like to see Hamlin win just because I think it would be neat to see the historical him get all the 4 jewels. And he's thirsty. He's been fighting up there at the head of the pack. I still think Truex is due, but I think he might
Truex definitely do.
He might be sitting on his points at this point in time, just making sure he keeps up on him because he's been winning stages like his life depends on it, and then not quite getting there at the end of the race to win the race.
He does have 3 stage wins for 3 playoff points. He's comfortably at 13th. Like, he'll make the playoffs. Like, he's 137 points up in the good. So he'll make the playoffs. So you're picking Truex. Let's see here. My
thought is that he might actually end up just sort of trying to maintain what he has versus going for the win at this point.
All right, so who are you picking to win this race?
I think I will stick with Hamlin because he's going to go for it, and it's going to take an accident or something to stop him. It is.
You know,
it's going to take something crazy to.
take that away. I got to see how he does in qualifying, but wow, am I really going to do this? I'm going to take Ryan Blaney.
He's been on fire.
I'm going to take Ryan Blaney for the win, back-to-back weeks.
Yeah.
Like, he's been hot lately.
Yeah,
so let's see. I want to take like Corey LaJoie or something, just for the hell of it. But no, I'm going to take Ryan Blaney. So, all right, what's next?
Top to bottom.
Top to bottom. All right, so we're going to be doing this heading up to the beginning of the NFL season. So basically what we're doing is we're going to do the top 5 and the bottom 5 in our rankings. This week, we are ranking NFL quarterbacks. You can have stats to back it up if you want. You don't need them. But I do for my top 5, but I don't really have anything for my bottom 5 because it's kind of just a guesstimate at this point because you really don't know what rookies are going to start and which ones aren't. So some of them are at the back of the list for me, but I'm going to let you start it out. Ladies first, who are in your top 5?
I do need to say that when we said top 5 quarterbacks, I went with quarterbacks from playing last season. I didn't look up who is going this season. So there's going to be some discrepancies from that. But I put from last season, I put my number 1 as Jared.
Well, start with number 5.
Start with 5 and work back.
Start with 5.
I started with 5 is CJ Stroud. CJ Stroud. Very excited to see where our Texans quarterback is going. He had a pretty killer first season as a rookie quarterback, and I think it's going to get better. He seems to thrive under the pressure and stuff. So that's my 5.
That's your number 5. Who's number 4?
Jalen Hurts on the Eagles. He wasn't necessarily the most spectacular guy out there, but he and they had a really rough ending to the season. They did. But he's pretty consistently a decent quarterback. He's pretty consistently making those passes and the runs and all that stuff. So
yeah, I mean, he's great with his legs. I can see that. All right, Jalen Hurts. Yeah, especially with Saquon Barkley in the backfield, might open up some of that play action. I'll give you that one. All right, who's number 3?
Patrick Mahomes. That's hugely related to Travis Kelce. I don't think it would look quite the same picture for the Chiefs if there wasn't both of them there. They're like the dream team. But I mean, he's got a couple of big game rings, and I think he's a pretty decent quarterback. Nice. I think he's shown a lot of growth from season to season, and we can expect that to continue.
Shout out to real quick. Shout out to Duncan and Karen who are watching. So, what's up? Thanks for watching. All right, who's your number 2?
Number 2, I went Brock Purdy. I have continued to remain impressed with the 49ers quarterback. They never mind that he was a surprise rookie off the bench who was never really supposed to play. His growth has been pretty exponential since he took over as their main quarterback, and he's kept them in the race at the very least. I think there's still places for Purdy to go.
Right on. All right.
My number 1, which I already said first and gave away, but my number 1 is Jared Goff. And that's strictly related to they almost made my underdog dreams come true. They almost got the Lions there last season, and they have come out of nowhere being one of the worst teams that ever existed. And they're able to almost make the playoff, or almost make the big game, I should say. Then I'm also going to give a special mention to Justin Fields. I know a lot of people aren't looking at the Bears or thinking about the Bears in that way. It's just
he's on Pittsburgh now.
The second half of their season was phenomenal last year.
Yeah.
And it's a shame that they weren't smart enough to hang on to him.
Yeah, he's fighting with Russell Wilson now in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
That's right, Karen. Karen, getting educated. That's why people listen to us, is to get educated. Obviously, we're just that damn sharp. All right. So my top 5.
Yes.
Let me bring it up again. All right. At number 5, I've got. Don't you just love? I've got Jordan Love in my top freaking 5. I couldn't believe it. 32 touchdowns to 11 interceptions last season. Took the Green Bay Packers to the playoffs.
Yeah.
Got to give him some credit. He had his receivers dropped a lot of passes last year, and he still had decent numbers. I think Jordan Love is going to be a top 5 quarterback starting out this season. So I like it. At number 4, your guy, Mr. Jared Goff. You got him at number 1. I've got him at 4. 30 touchdowns, 12 interceptions last year. Led the Lions to the NFC North title. Solid pick. I can make an argument for number 1. Number 3, I got the guy from right here in the Valley. You mentioned him too. I think you have him at your number 2, Mr. Brock Purdy.
Yep.
31 touchdowns, 11 interceptions last year, 9.6 yards per pass last season, led the NFL. Also led the NFL in quarterback rating last year with 113. The big thing right now, though, the San Francisco 49ers must keep Brandon Ayuk.
Yeah.
They must. He's requested a trade. They can. He's still under contract. They can bench him. They can, and then next year they can give him the franchise tag and make them play under the tag. So technically, I mean, the Niners don't have to trade him. They can basically just be like, look, you're on our team until we can pay you, or we feel like releasing you.
Yeah.
But Brock Purdy for right now with Brandon Ayuk on the team is my number 3 quarterback. Number 2, I'm going to give some love to Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott for Dallas Cowboys last year, 36 touchdowns, only 9 interceptions. He is also in a contract year. Players tend to play better when they're in a contract year. So if he can do better than 36 and 9, it's pretty good. That's a 4-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio. Not too many starting quarterbacks did that. That was actually best among all starting quarterbacks, I believe. And then number 1 is your number 5. I've got CJ Stroud.
Yeah.
I've got CJ Stroud. I love what they're doing in Houston. I think the road to the number 1 spot in the AFC South definitely goes through Houston, not Indy, not Jacksonville, not Tennessee. That is the Houston Texans and C.J. Stroud's division for the foreseeable future. Not to mention the fact that, they added Stephon freaking Diggs to their offense this year. So he's got a pretty good weapon on top of the weapons that are getting healthy for him this season. Like, he may throw for 5,000 yards. He just might. So I've got CJ Stroud as my number one. That's the top. Let's talk about the bottom.
All right.
Now, some of these guys may or may not be starting this year because, well, there's a reason why they're on the bottom of the list. All right. Go ahead with your absolute worst. Now, start with the absolute worst.
You're using stats and facts. I'm going with how I remember them playing last season, like my gut feeling about their qualities, just to be clear. So
right.
number 5 is Derek Carr from the Saints, and it's just shit show of a season last year.
Totally disagree. Moving on. Go ahead, Derek Carr. You've got Derek Carr. All right.
Number 4 totally bring Russell up some Wilson stats from the Steelers.
Right.
Also just shit show of a season. You're not getting me excited playing like that. Number 3, Anthony Richardson from the Colts. And my biggest reason there is I literally never even heard of this guy.
It's because he got hurt.
All last season, I never heard that name even once. So
he got hurt early.
Is that what it was? Someone else?
Yeah, he got hurt. But I mean, he's got a cannon of an arm.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I tried looking that up, but they made it pretty difficult. They wanted to put who like the headlining quarterback was supposed to be. It's like, no, I want to know.
He's not going to be great, but he's solid. All right, who else you got?
Number 2, Zach Wilson from the Jets. That was just.
He's not even on the Jets anymore.
Ugly.
He's not even on the Jets anymore.
Why would they have kept him? It got like I don't want to be mean to the kid either. It was just.
No, you can. We're Patriots fans. You can do that. You can be mean to anybody in New York except for Karen.
The longer into the season they got, the more he made mistakes, the worse his playing got. Like he literally could not handle the pressure of being in that full position. I'm not even sure he could have handled being a backup when he played last season towards the end.
He's terrible. He's absolutely terrible.
Number 1, there's a chance maybe he didn't play 2 then, but Daniel Jones from the Giants was another name that I was like,
he got hurt.
Yeah, I have no memory of that guy.
Yeah, he's
terrible. That's why
he's been on the Giants for like 5 years now. I have no memory of him.
I've never. That name rung no bells at all. Like dead silence in my brain. So I went with it. He can't be great then. He's never caught my attention in any kind of a way.
That's awesome.
Oh, there you go.
All right. At my absolute worst. Actually, I'm going to start with my best of the worst.
Okay.
Start with my best of the worst. So at number 1, I'm going to go 1 to 5, which is basically like 28, 29, 30, 30. So 28 to 32. So at number 1, I've got Russell Wilson. There's no guarantee he's even going to start this season. Like you said, Justin Fields had a decent season last year in Chicago. He ended up getting traded to Pittsburgh.
If they were smart, they would play Justin. But
I think they're going to start Russell because he's still expensive. So you're going to put that money on there. You gotta put him on the field. Next up, I've got Jacoby Brissett from the New England Patriots. And it crushed my heart to do that. But like PFF has already ranked the Patriots wide receiving group as the absolute worst in the NFL. PFF is Pro Football Focus. We don't have anybody that scares anybody. So like if unless our rookies actually show up, we got 2 rookies that could show up, but they're rookies. So you don't know what to expect from them until they actually put the pads on.
Yeah.
So I've got Jacoby Brissett. Next up, I've got Will Levis from Tennessee Titans. He's got a decent receiver in DeAndre Hopkins, but I'm not sold on Levis at all.
Yeah.
I'll put him at the back of the bus, but not the very back. Next up, I've got a rookie starting in Denver, Mr. Bo Nix, former Oregon Duck. I saw this kid play live. But you're going to a terrible team. There's a reason why you were drafted in the first round. You're going to a bad team in Denver. You do have a decent receiving core, decent, I guess. But you're a rookie, so let's see. And then Bryce Young was the worst of the worst last year, and I believe he'll be the worst of the worst again this year in Carolina because they really don't have anybody.
I could make that argument too. I didn't
So
want to look
Bryce
him
Young,
up just because he was on the Panthers.
Bryce Young is at the bottom. So
worst team in the NFL.
What's next?
Eye on the diamond.
All right, this segment is brought to you by Podbean. Get your 1 month free trial of Podbean's unlimited podcast hosting plan by going to podbean.com/coach JD. Let's start out with the Red Sox. The Red Sox are currently sit at 53-42. They have 4.5 games back of first place Baltimore Orioles in the AL East and currently sit in the third and final wild card spot, 3.5 games back of the Spankies. Sox play a 3-game series at the Dodgers starting tonight. Definitely want to watch that game if I can get it in before my bedtime. Game 1 has Nick Pivetta going up against Stone. Game 2 has Brian Bello going up against Robleski. Try spelling that name without looking at the itinerary.
I'm not even sure I could say that name if I was looking at it.
W-R-O-B Lesky with an I.
Yeah.
Game 3 has Cutter Crawford, Cutter with a K, Crawford with a C, versus Paxton on Sunday. That'll also be Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN. So, I mean, we've got the MLB package anyway. We can watch them all.
Yeah.
So, Sox will stay on the road early next week, going to Colorado before returning home for a 3-game series next weekend, starting on Friday against the Spankies. All right, that's it. That's in Boston, too. The Red Sox have owned the Yankees, winning 5 out of their last 6 series against them, which is just brings me so much joy. I'm glad Karen dropped off because she is from the area. Yeah, they kind of have to be, right? Well, you can be a Mets fan. You can be a Mets fan. So, but no. All right, the Arizona Diamondbacks. D-backs currently sit at 50-48. They are 6.5 games back of the Dodgers in the NL West. So, hey, maybe we can help the D-backs out by beating the Dodgers. They are 0.5 games out of the final spot in the wild card. They're at the Cubs this weekend, but good news, they already played today, and they won today 5-2. Ryan Nelson got the wins. He has now improved his record to 7-6. With Paul Sewald getting his 14th save of the year. So good start to the second half for Sewald as well, who has struggled a little bit in that closing role. Game 2 will have our ace, Zach Gallen, going up against Kendricks. And Game 3 on Sunday, we'll have Brandon Pfaadt, spelled P-F-A-A-D-T, going up against Imanaga on Sunday. That's going to be a tough matchup for them. Imanaga is pretty good. Arizona will travel to Kansas City, who's currently 2 games back of the Red Sox in the wild card chase. They're going to Kansas City for a 3-game series on Monday, and we'll be back at Chase Field on Friday to take on both the Pirates and the Nationals. Back-to-back series at home. Don't forget, Sports Media X is live, the only course on the internet that combines the ability to build your own sports media brand with the marketing skills that allows you to 10x your growth through sales and sponsorships. Go to CoachJeffDemers.com. Click on the info button for Sports Media X below the mission statement on the home page. Once again, I do want to give a shout out to our friends at Mamba Hot Sauces. You can pick up your hot sauce for your NASCAR weekend by going to MambaHotSauces.com. And shout out to Angelica over at SWFL Promos for our personalized tumblers. We love you, Angelica. Thank you very much for those. You can go to SWFLpromos.com to pick up all of your gear for your brand. It's not just tumblers, it's a little bit of everything. And remember, if you're looking to start your first sports podcast, you can get a 1-month free trial of Podbean's unlimited hosting plan by going to podbean.com/coach JD. You can check out all of our partners by going to coachjeffdemers.com/partnerships. One final note, as always, shout out to our men and women in uniform, past and present. Thank you very much for your service and your sacrifice. We love you. Thank you. Lady M, what's the final word?
Keep loving sports.
There you go.